Hi, everybody, it's Craig. And Hi, everybody, it's Craig and Raphael back with your Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday, Docs Daily edition. And before we get to the free plays, which we know what you're here for, make sure you get in on all of our best bets. Go over to the website, Doc Sports. Use that docsports.com/free60. Get a free $60 account for new customers. And if you're an existing customer, we got a bunch of codes out there today. All you got to do is check your emails. They're mailed out all the time. You get some extra discounts. But I do see an 8-unit game of the year, I think, for Docs today. The MLB, a couple 7-unit plays out there. So I don't have anything huge today. A little 3-unit play in college football tonight. Kind of like one of these games. We'll maybe even briefly talk about it. Raphael, you got anything big tonight?
No, I mean, I'm with you. I think I have a 4-unit NHL play with I had a nice 5-unit plus money play yesterday that cashed. So hopefully we can have nice continued success in the NHL. But 3-unit baseball, I mean, I know everyone keeps on DMing me and stuff on socials. How can you have a big unit playing baseball? You've been doing so good in baseball because there's no value. I tell that all the time. I try to tell that to clusters just because you're riding a hot hand. I just don't want to throw something out if I see no value. And I would have the 2 plays I might have put a big unit on, I would have lost. I would have had the Blue Jays one of those games at home, which I thought they were going to win, have a loss. So sometimes the best bet is the no bet.
I mean, we'll talk baseball here in a second, but I think the big question is, can they even get one? Toronto, you look at it like Bieber, like when he first came back, I was like, oh, dude, Bieber's going to be money come playoffs, and then he kind of like after first
The
few
Yankees
starts,
blew him up.
yeah, it wasn't great. So I don't know. We'll talk about baseball in a second. Hockey's got the biggest card today. Just a couple in college football, but big card this weekend. So maybe we'll get to some of those games. I want to get your opinion on some of the line movements and so on and so forth on some of the premier teams and premier games for the weekend. But don't forget, if you haven't done so, make sure you get in the premium content here at YouTube. Very simple. We have 3 different levels. It's as low as $4.99 a month. So we got a couple guys that have jumped in here. So it's $4.99 a month. You'll get Lenny every day, get some exclusive live content. If you get level 2, you get Indian Cowboy plus level 1. If you get level 3, you get all 3 levels, including one of my plays every day, and a couple of our Doc Sports experts. So it's about a $2,500 for $49.99 a month. So make sure you click the link in the description. Okay, Raphael, let's talk a little about this game tonight, Toronto and Seattle. And like I said, Bieber, he's the unknown here. If he's his Bieber like when he was Cy Young candidate type stuff, I think they're going to win tonight. If he was like he was against the Yankees, like you said, they're in trouble because I just don't think their offense is going to save them. What do you think here?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he did not good against the Yankees, but I think the Yankees had 9 runs at the end of that game, his last start. And what Seattle's just been doing, how do you just keep on riding them? I mean, Kirby's on the mound. He's looked really, really good. Their bats have been all over the place. I just don't think how you think Toronto's going to steal one. I mean, the books are hoping it's a sweep for both of them so you can get going and maybe get baseball out of there. I want to ask you a question because I was on a line with a couple of bookmakers today trying to figure out what would be the series price of Dodgers Mariners. I want to hear your price because I'm a little bit high than some of the sharpest minds I've talked to today.
Well, who has the at home field? Would be Seattle.
I think so. Yeah, Seattle does. Does it really matter?
Yeah, I mean, because I think if it was Dodgers, I think it'd be minus 200. If I think you can get into the 170s, maybe Dodgers minus 170.
I've heard anywhere between minus 160 all the way to minus 180. I'm thinking 240 because what we saw of Blake's now, we saw their pitching, and we haven't even heard of Ohtani on the mound yet, or their bullpen is so rested right now. Even though their bullpen was shaky, their offense has not done anything. So let's say in the World Series, their bats wake up as well. I don't see it. I mean, I know I'm a little bit high, and I'm not looking in front of their future. I mean, don't forget they do series prices on what's already
Right.
in their future pool. So I can't look at that at the time. But
And I'm sure
yeah,
they have
this is
liability on the Dodgers, right? Like Like
Oh
they
yeah,
got to have.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I just don't know how much liability on the Dodgers, but I'm just been so impressed with the Dodgers starting pitch. Blake Snell should have pitched a complete game.
I mean, to have back-to-back guys do what they did, it changes the series because now,
Yep.
like you said, everybody's available in the bullpen. You could go a bullpen game basically like on Otani Day. You could go, hey, Otani, we're going to go 3 innings for you, and then we're going to turn it over, 2 innings or an inning, whatever you got to do. It just really opens up that series. And the Brewers, all those great starting pitchings that they did when they had that huge, 70-game run where they were like
Yeah.
52 or something. That seems like a distant memory now where their pitching has been good, but the bats haven't really stepped up. And I can't see the Dodgers not winning. I can't see Seattle not winning. Of the two, I think I could at least see Seattle where it's like, okay, I could see if you said Shane Bieber has a great game today, I'm like, okay, turn back the clock. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden now you're 2-1, you steal game 4, and now you're 2-2. It's like everything's back in play. I just don't see that for I just don't see that for the Brewers.
No. I mean, when you can't get 5 hits a game, I mean, they've got
Yeah.
4 hits last night, 2 the game 1, or 3 on game 1. If you can't hit the ball, you're not going to win at all against this Dodger
And let's
lineup
be
or
honest,
this Dodger pitching staff.
the Dodgers had the bases loaded 2 innings too,
Yeah.
that they didn't get anything there, or they got 1 run, right, in those innings. So it's like it could have been way more lopsided. And what would these lines, I think tomorrow, I think it's -180, I think already, -187 or something like
Yeah.
that. If they would won 10-0 or something, that might be pushed, go up into the
It might be
twos.
at $2 easily. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
because
so
it opened up at -190. BetMGM and Caesars both have -195. So if they blow up yesterday, like you said, the base is loaded. This is easily 220, probably the closing number.
yep. All right, so we got a little college football tonight. Got a couple games. Anything I do have, like I said, a small play, 3-unit play I put out in that Delaware Jacksonville State game. But this other game, Sam Houston, I've watched a lot because remember Sam Houston was
Yeah.
one of those games that played midweek. I think they played Western Kentucky to open the season, so I watched that entire game. So what do you think? UTEP, I saw them play Texas, so I mean I've seen both of these plays. Usually, some of these teams you don't get to see very often. Any opinion on either one of these two?
I like the first one, but let's face it. If you watched all the games yesterday in college football, your eyes are still bleeding. There was some of the worst college football games I've seen in a very long time. The Hilltoppers at home, they couldn't score nothing last night. But I lean towards Jacksonville State fading. I like the under in the game, I like their team total under 2, because they have struggled in the red zone all season long. And the Blue Hens, they usually like to play stall, but they want you to go 90 yards to score a touchdown or kick a field goal. They really have tough defense. I just don't see a lot of scoring in this one. I think the Delaware last 5 games for them have gone under the total. So I can see the Blue Hens winning this game, and I can also see an under game.
I got a question for you on Friday's games because Miami has looked. I mean, to be very honest, they've looked like the best team in football. I know Ohio State's looked really good too. The difference is like it looks like an offensive defensive line in the NFL for Miami. I mean, they're just dominating the trenches. Are they getting any buyback from Louisville at that 13.5 number? Because I kind of thought this line might go over at least a 14, if not over.
Yeah, tomorrow it'll go. If you're looking to bet the L, then wait, because it'll be 14 tomorrow. Because I can guarantee you a lot of parlay action will be attached to either Miami money line or tees to the Miami game and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a 14 for Louisville, it's gonna be there tomorrow because there's some books have 13.5 -120. So if you have it at -120 and you got 24 hours, I wouldn't shock me if we see 14 when we wake up tomorrow.
I did see when the number came out, they got pretty equal action right away, which I was a little surprised just because how dominant they look. People bet what they've seen last. But I guess Louisville midweek, they think maybe this is the one. If you look at their schedule, Miami, I don't see an L on their
No. Mm-mm.
on their schedule. Doesn't mean they won't have one, but it's just like I think Miami is going to be like big favorites from here on out. So if you want to bet against them, I guess you'll be getting a couple touchdowns probably in many of these games. The other games tomorrow, I don't like the Nebraska Minnesota game's a little interesting because you have a big public underdog already. Minnesota, I see 63%. I love the wagers and a couple of the listed places that list these. That was kind of interesting because let's be honest, Minnesota, I mean, hasn't been world beaters this year, even though they're 4-2. They're only 1-4-1 against the spread. Anything you lean in that game?
I'm hoping to. I'll say this right now. While we release our plays tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm hoping this total keeps on dropping because this might be a small play for me. I normally don't play Friday games because I think there's no value in them because I love to bet them. Ooh, I wish it was Wednesday. I could release this play, and then Thursday the number's gone. But this one's going totally opposite. I think this one goes over. I think Nebraska has no issue scoring on the road against Minnesota. So if I can get high 20s, maybe close to 30, like Nebraska has been doing, putting up 30 plus, I think Minnesota is going to have to score. So the number is now 46.5, opened up at 48. I'm hoping it continues to drop tomorrow by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So any interest then? Would you maybe dabble in the Nebraska team total?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Nebraska's team total. Why you have to now? I can't. I was gonna maybe look at that tomorrow as my prop play. Thanks a lot, Craig. I was gonna be one of my prop plays tomorrow.
Only a few thousand people watch this, Raphael. So just don't worry. You're only giving it out to a few thousand people. I just think this is the distraction game. Let's be honest. Rule is out there. He has not said no to Penn State. He walked on there. He's really good friends with the athletic director. He met his wife there. It's like if they come calling,
he's the favorite to win that, be the head coach of Penn State as well.
Like at least you have to come out and say, "Hey, listen, I'm not talking about this until after the season." Or something. Say something. Him like basically non-committal. I was like, "Oh goodness." So lots of distractions. So I could see where Minnesota maybe catches them because you have these kids that aren't used to these kinds of conversations happening. So I do think Minnesota maybe catches them in this one.
And it's probably going to go to 8.5. ESPN Bet has 8.5. Two Vegas books have 8. So I don't see these 7.5 sticking around. I think it would close around 8.5. So I think that's a great number if you're looking to bet Minnesota.
Big game this weekend, I think LSU Vandy. I was shocked when the line came out 2.5, 2 to 3. I saw some books all kind of all over the place. See a lot of 2.5s now. I was shocked, but just because the name recognition,
I was too.
Name recognition only is worth about 3 points. The difference in this is what I mean. Where do you think this ends up? Do you think it ends up at 3, or do you think it stays at this 2.5? Because I feel like you have value there if you like LSU. To be very honest,
I think it ends up at 3. I think the LSU bettors, the LSU faithfuls see what they see every game. They can't run the ball. I mean, granted, they ran the ball a little bit last week, but that was just 1 week. They struggled against La Tech. We saw them against Ole Miss. They had no offense. Their Heisman hopeful has not been a Heisman hopeful. He's just happy there's a guy named Manning in Texas that's stealing all the negative thunder, or we will be talking negative about him. So I think we'll see a 3. And I agree. I thought LSU's name would have maybe made it close to like a 1. I didn't think pick them just because so much love on Vandy. The last 2 years, Vandy football has been Vandy football, and the public has been all over them. But wow, if this one goes to 3, how do you not look at LSU?
It was 24-17 at LSU last year, so it was very close. It was like a 10-point spread, so Vandy did cover. I mean, Vandy was a cover machine last year. They've been pretty good this year. They didn't play great against Alabama. That's just facts. They were right in it at half, and just the second half, it was the difference. And what I think the difference usually is when you're Vandy is your offensive and defensive lines are just smaller and not as athletic as the LSUs and the Alabamas, the Georgias, and even you have to go, Ole Miss at this point, Texas A&M. Like they just don't have that. Can they do enough on the perimeter? That's where they have to win. Pavia has been great, so it'll be a fun game to watch. I wish this game was in the evening. If this was a primetime game, to see those Vandy kids.
I'm so upset. You are 110% agree. I hate this time slot. But let's throw it back. If Vanderbilt loses, and let's say Matt Rule says, I'm staying, I ain't going anywhere, you know who's going to be, a lot of rumors are going to be the new head coach at Penn State. Vanderbilt head coach.
I don't like.
How do you not throw money? How do you not SEC money? How do you not try to steal Indiana? This is going to be a so interesting offseason for college football head coach because there's some big teams. Va Tech, Florida's going to be out there.
All right, here's the thing. I don't think Penn State's a better job than Indiana at this point.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying, I think Penn
because
State
Penn
has
State,
they have football
those
money. Indiana has basketball money.
not anymore. Mark Cuban has ponied up the money, and that's why this team has turned it around. I mean, he's the money behind there, and I think Indiana they have 50,000 students a year, so they have tons of people. When they start winning, they'll get the money. The problem with Penn State is they're unrealistic. James Franklin he built them to something. I agree, he has struggled against the good teams. You know who also struggled against the good teams? Look at every other Big Ten team that's lost to Michigan and Ohio State the last
Yeah.
5-6 years. They're bigger. They have a bigger bankroll. Like they just have better talent year in, year out. Now, if your argument is, hey, they paid up this year, they paid up 1 year. Penn State did. Like that, just because you pay up 1 year doesn't mean you win a national championship. But they were one play for playing for the national championship last year. So to fire your coach, and the rumors is it's going to be $75 million. What's going to cost them between the buyout of Franklin, the buyout of all the assistant coaches, and then you got to turn around and you got to pay the new coaching staff. It's going to be in that $75 to $80 million range.
But isn't
That's
Adidas
ridiculous.
paying some of that though?
That's the rumors, but no one's really heard that. Like no one's been able to confirm that. Like to me, who you getting? Like unless you know who you're getting when you fire a coach, it's like okay, you might not. Matt Rule hasn't been able to beat good teams. Go look at his
Oh,
record. Like
yeah.
he hasn't beat great teams. Like Nebraska, like fans probably wouldn't be like totally disappointed because like he's gotten them better. But it's like, so to me, I don't know. Like, and I'm not leaving the SEC if I'm an SEC coach to go to Penn State. I just not because you're the third and maybe now fourth. No, I would say fourth now because Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan are the three clear teams that like get the most money. They get the most
What if the
players.
Big Ten wins the national championship again? Then they could.
I'm
Then
not
you
saying
would.
that you can't win a championship because I think those three schools will be in it. But I just don't think you're the fourth best team in the Big Ten. I would rather be the sixth or seventh best team in the SEC because top to bottom, SEC is going to get more teams in every year. One, there's more teams and there's more quality teams. Like, you know what I mean? Like this year, there's going to get 4 SEC teams in this year unless something really bad happens. Like, I mean, look at this game. Whoever wins this game's only got one loss. If they win out, they're going to be in the playoffs. Georgia wins out, they're in the playoffs. Alabama wins out, they're in the playoffs.
Georgia
Texas
could
A&M,
lose this week again.
Texas A&M, like they haven't lost a game. That's the team. What do you think about Texas A&M? That's the team that I'm most torn on because yes, they're undefeated. Yes, they beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame, which Notre Dame's running the table.
Yeah.
If they win this week, they're going to run the table. They're going to be in the playoffs. So that win looks really, really good. But this is a real big trap spot this week at Arkansas. Arkansas has fired their coach. Everybody's saying you're going to kill him. It's that dreaded number 7.5 when you're on the road. What do you think in that one?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm still bitter. A couple of weeks ago, when Texas A&M played Auburn and they didn't cover by half a point, I'm still very angry at that. It's probably one of those losses that you know how it is when you're a handicapper. There's always one game that you think about when football season's over, and that's the game I'm going to think about when they couldn't cover against Auburn. But their defense has been really good. I thought between Texas A&M and Texas Tech, I thought both their defenses are really, really good. That don't get mentioned as much because everyone wants to talk about Ohio State's defense.
Well, after this week, they play LSU, at Missouri, and South Carolina at home. So 2 of those like really tough matchups the next 2 weeks.
South Carolina, talk about a complete dud they had. They had so much high hopes coming into the season, Heisman hopeful and all this, and boy, they just fell off the face of the earth.
I mean, they were 1 win from last year being in the playoffs.
Yep.
And remember, they got screwed out of a win. So this week, I think I like them this week against Oklahoma. I think a huge letdown spot for Oklahoma after you lost the Red River Shootout. They brought back Mateer, the quarterback last week. I thought early, I thought that was a mistake because
the offense looked just totally lost with him in there.
Just
Granted, I'm not saying
like on Wednesday decide you're going to play a guy and against a Texas team that was desperate. Texas is still in the playoff hunt. I know people don't want. I mean, look at their losses. Their losses are not losing at Florida is not. The Swamp is hard to win. That Florida team is way better than the record. You lost to Ohio State, which is the number 1 team in the country. If they win out, they're going to be in. So that was a big spot for Texas. I think Oklahoma is a huge letdown spot. One of my favorite angles, I give this out all the time, is when a team is more than 4-0 and they lose a game, the next game I bet against them against the spread because it's like that natural, like, oh crap, now we're undefeated. It's like, now they start questioning themselves. And all of a sudden you have a little letdown. It's really good in the NFL, but it especially can be good in college football. I think
What do you?
this is spot.
I have to ask you, what do you think of Notre Dame USC? I mean, this one's going to be probably 10. I can't believe it's 9.5. Pretty much, the money continues to come in on Notre Dame.
They've not been good
I'm a
on the
little bit
road.
shocked at how high that number is.
Notre Dame's been bad on the road. Like, they didn't look great against Northwestern on the road. Obviously, now Northwestern looks a little better that they won at Penn State. But, like, I really think Notre Dame's a really good team. I mean, they should have probably beat Miami on opening week, even though they played terrible the first half. They had a chance late to get a stop.
They didn't run the ball. They didn't run the ball against Miami. I don't understand.
They didn't do anything in the first half. In the second half, they looked like a completely different team. Opened it up a little bit. Then that Texas A&M game, they looked like they were going to win that game. Like, if they win either one of those games, what would this line be? This line would be at least, I would think, 10, maybe 10.5. Then I would maybe have.
I was just really shocked at how well USC played last week against Michigan. They just looked a quicker team.
Michigan, though? That was more Michigan than less about USC.
Yes and no. I mean, Michigan still gets players. They still get men. Some schools get boys. USC on defense, especially the secondary, looked like they had boys trying to stop the run game. If you got past the linebacking staff, the Michigan secondary looked like boys trying to chase men.
I mean, Underwood's looked good at home. He did not look good at Oklahoma that game. It didn't necessarily look great against USC. So I just think, young quarterback that hasn't went to these places before and played in these big situations. I think you'll see that. I think USC at Notre Dame is a different beast. Now, it is a rivalry game. People that don't realize, if you don't follow college football for the last 50 years, this is historically one of the biggest rivalries. Like
it doesn't get as much talk like other rivalries, though.
It used to be one of the last games of the regular season, so it ended up being even better. Remember the tush push year where
Notre Dame, Reggie Bush and Leonard.
Reggie Bush pushed Leonard in. Otherwise, Notre Dame beats them, and they probably don't win that championship that year. So, I mean, we've had some really big games. I just don't think USC is good enough this year to beat them. Now, spread-wise, you could talk me in if I could get it to 10. Like, I could take USC at the 10 number. The 9.5, I'd probably stay away. But at 10, I think I'd buy back on to USC. But if this is a big if for Notre Dame, if they win this game, they're going to be big favorite from here on out. Tennessee, Alabama, some interest here for me. Obviously, people don't realize this one. I knew it was a big rivalry, but I couldn't believe that Saban said this is the biggest rivalry when he's like, it's bigger than Auburn. I was like,
he's like, yeah. When he said it, I'm like,
I mean, but he said it.
Put money in your back pocket.
I mean, they beat them all the time too. So, although they did lose last year, so as a little revenge spot, Tennessee loses this. I don't see I don't see a clear path for Tennessee to get in to the champion. The loss. You lost at home against Georgia when you missed that field goal. That's gonna. Is there any? Can you get any interest there, at least with the spread with Tennessee here?
A little bit. I mean, not much. Alabama just playing much better. They look so much different. Simpsons look so much different. Back, he's more confident. They're able to run the ball, and their defense gets better and better week after week. It's either Bama for me or nothing. I just think at the end of the day, especially the fourth quarter, we saw what happened in the fourth quarter for Alabama last week. I think I can see that type of game where Alabama covers late.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might. I mean, if he has a really good game, Simpson in this one, I think he might end up jumping up his Heisman odds might be second or third favorite. I mean, right now, I think the Mendoza kid and the Beck kid, the two quarterbacks,
is not favorite right now, but Mendoza is second favorite at +4. Just think if you had Mendoza ticket when he opened up at 5,500, and now you can cash that one right now if you wanted to.
But if Simpson had a big game here, I think he can move into the top 4 or 5, and he has big games in front of him. Big games, which, those are the ones that you get like extra credit for. So I think this will be an interesting game. Now we look at the NFL game for Thursday. My Bengals, I mean, when they went out and got Joe Flacco, I was
You had to laugh. Come on, you had to laugh.
I didn't love it. He looked better than I thought on a short week. it did probably help him that he already beat them and already played them, so it's like he knew a lot about their defense. But on a short week, I mean, he's been here for less than what I think 8. He'll be here like 8-9 days, and I had to play 2 games, one on the road, and then now the Steelers at home. But I will say, I don't think the Steelers are as good as their record is. But they're facing, what do they call this? The icy hot game?
Hot bowl. Yeah.
The icy hot bowl.
The
Yeah,
icy hot bowl.
I mean, you don't see plus 40 quarterbacks very often
No.
facing off. I will say that. Is there any interest though, like in the Bengals in this one? I mean, I'm too close to it. I have to stay away from this game.
I mean, if this moves to 6 or higher, because I think everyone's going to look at the records, everyone's going to look at the quarterback, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm going to either tease Pittsburgh, or I'm going to take Pittsburgh, or add something to a parlay with Pittsburgh and all that. If it goes higher to 6, 6.5, then how do you not look at the Bengals? I'm leaning towards the over a little bit if it drops down to 43 and stuff like that. I know the Steelers' offense has not looked, they haven't really shown that they could put up 24 plus points in a given day, but this Bengals defense is awful.
I mean, I've played this a bunch this year, by the way, personally. Team total against the Bengals, the other offense, you've done pretty well. Like, it didn't look like it was going to hit. It didn't look like it was going to hit. It hit. I think it were pushed. Some people got the end. Some people pushed. Green Bay scored all those late, and the Bengals too. Scored a bunch in the fourth quarter. But I just think in a short week, and there's a lot of news out there here locally, that Hendrickson, if they lose this game,
his name's hot in trades. Yep.
Could be because he has a very short contract, so it's just like a base of a rental deal that you would have. I just don't know, like, what team has to have him that needs a pass. I mean, everybody needs a pass rusher, but that I don't know. Like, and what do you
normally
get
the NFL trade deadline is really weak. We can have some, I don't want to say big names, but maybe an Eagles wide receiver. You just said Hendrickson. Someone maybe in the Saints, maybe Taysom Hill, or we can see a name. The Steelers looking for another wide receiver. So I think this NFL. I think the trades start happening probably sooner than the trade deadline. We can see some jersey swapping that we like. Wow, I can't believe we saw this.
I heard Shedeur Sanders to the Ravens.
They wanted to draft him. He said no.
I know. But and if you're Lamar, you're like not worried. But Lamar's probably got 3 more years, so you bring him in. He's always hurt. He's always banged up. So they obviously believe.
I thought the Raiders would have been a good trade for him as well.
Which this sounds like they might start O'Connell this week. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy that the coaches that are on the hot seat. Obviously, they made the coaching change at Tennessee, which I don't know what they were.
McDaniel, not.
What were you expecting?
He was 30-1 to Tennessee when they opened up first head coach fired. 30-1. How's McDaniel in Miami? If they get crushed by Cleveland, you even let him in an office on Monday? Do you change the key card codes?
The midweek firing or the mid-season firings. I get it when you're like a couple weeks to the end of the year because now you start interviewing coaches that you hoping you get like the first chance to talk to coaches, and maybe you get a coach that maybe you wouldn't if you waited. But when you're doing it like week 6, 7, 8, I just don't get it. I don't know what you gain by doing it. We'll see, I guess. I think I heard Pete Carroll, people like not happy because Pete Carroll was his own worst enemy. He's like, oh, we're going to be really much improved. And they really have not been. The week 1 win at New England looks really good right now, though.
Yeah.
That win does look good. I mean, imagine if you're just the freaking Patriots and you beat them. Like, where would you be now? They're already leading the division, but they'd be a distinct. So I don't know. I do think here in town, Cincinnati and the Bengals are not one to make a bunch of coaching changes, but I think Zach Taylor. I know your quarterback's down, but it's like they have not looked good other than this. They did look good a little bit the second half against the Packers. So I did say you're a Bears fan, right?
No, I don't have a favorite. Working for Vegas for 15 Super Bowls, you throw your favorite team out the window because you can't cheer because the bosses hate when you cheered. So, I tell people that's why I think the NFL is not my favorite sport because working in the sports book for that many years killed my love for the NFL.
I thought the Bears, they got it.
That's a big win. Big win.
They got lucky, but last year they got unlucky in the in that Hail Mary game against the same team. So, like, I mean, the fumble is like you're going to get that every once in a while. It's kind of like
the weather. I mean, you have to throw weather involved too. Play.
I thought Washington, just gave them that game. But Kansas City, look last year, all those, like 6 wins, I would say the same kind of thing where they kind of gave them to them. So you sometimes make your luck by staying in games late, putting pressure on teams. So I think there's some interesting, footnotes as we go forward. But so we gave you a lot of picks. Is there anything else out there that you want to mention for today? Anything else?
I'm going to throw 2 more free plays out there. I'm going to throw 2 more free plays for the viewers, the millions of viewers we have out there watching right now.
Millions.
I'm going to take Blue Jays Mariners first 5 over 3.5. I mean, we saw 9 runs in the first 5 innings last game. I'm just not sold on Bieber. I think he gets lit up early, and I can see runs crossing the plate. I see another over game as well. So I'm going to take first 5 over 3.5. And then we'll give you some NHL. Give me the St. Louis Blues team total over 3.5. Their offense looks really, really good. And why is this game so late? As you're playing St. Louis and Chicago, why is it on 9 o'clock? Drop the puck. I feel bad for the Midwest people who have to stay up late to watch this game, but I like the Blues team total over 3.5.
All right, I'm going to give you a little something. This is actually my 2-unit prop play today. I like Bieber under the 4.5 strikeouts today. I just don't think he goes past 3 innings.
Me either.
I think they're going to be like, great. I think they would be really happy if it's one, like they're winning after 3 innings and Bieber's good, and they just say, "All right, we're going to go. We're going to go 3 innings. We're going to, bullpen. One inning, 2 innings. Like that." I think he'd be happy, even if he gets to the 4th inning. I just don't think he gets more than 1 strikeout in an inning. At this point of his career, he can. It's kind of like we saw Max Scherzer this year, that every once in a while he would do it. It's just tough. You're facing the best teams in the playoffs too, and if you start to struggle, they can't afford to let him. You get a bases loaded in the first couple innings, you might have to make the move early that you wouldn't do in the regular season because your season's on the line. They lose this, it's down 0-3, it's over. So, all right, that's what we have for today. Don't forget, if you want to, again, in our top plays, go over to DocSports.com. You can always see who has the top plays and use that free $60 account, DocSports.com/free60. All right, Raphael, thanks for joining me and shooting the crap, as they say, when it comes to football. Exciting weekend ahead. And make sure you tune in every day, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Docs Daily and 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Good luck. See you tomorrow.